Welcome back to World of Trucks from the Masters Ultimate Auto Expo, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, here's Griff Allen.
Now, when you think of Mazda, you might not necessarily think of pickup trucks, but yeah, they're in the Mazda repertoire, but they were nice little runabouts, and they got the job done, and they didn't really have a whole lot of style. They were more functional, but I'll tell you something. They've never been this low, they've never been this blingy, and they've never had Chuck get his hands on it. I got to shake your hands because this is impressive. Start with the fact that the thing is sitting on the ground almost. How did that happen?
Well, we have a NASCAR-style front end under it with NASCAR screw jacks, so we can raise it and lower it that way.
Oh, no kidding. Do you come into the garage at the end of every workday and turn the wrench?
Absolutely. Absolutely. After a hard day of work, that's what I need to relax and get through the day. We back half the rear frame. It's a solid mount rear end, but it is adjustable. We can raise it up and down just by simply using 4 bolts to it. So, and it's actually not as low as it could be right now.
All right, you mentioned the NASCAR suspension, and did I see a NASCAR fuel cell back there?
Yes, it has a NASCAR fuel cell. It also has 2 Optima batteries located underneath the bed of the truck.
All right, now under the hood, that ain't no Mazda engine, but among other things, I didn't see an alternator. You're running a total loss system?
Yes, we're running a total loss system. We run the complete electrical system off both batteries. It's able to get us through the weekend with cruising and everything that we do with it, so we don't really have a problem that way. The motor also has no belts and no pulleys. If you notice it has no water pump on the front of the motor.
Yeah, so all electric then, huh?
Yes, all the water pump, everything runs off the batteries.
All right, now you've dragged this thing when it had a 4-cylinder in it, and you ran a what?
We went mid-80s in the quarter mile with the 4-cylinder, no laughing gas, just all motor.
Oh, that's awesome stuff. Okay, now the paint, inside and out. Tell me where the idea and the inspiration came from. Who did it?
Well, the paint work was done by a good friend of mine out of Akron, Ohio, named Terry Small. He did all the paint. Most of the fabrication work was done by another good friend of mine, Chief from Newton, North Carolina. It was my ideas, my design, my warped sense of humor, if you will.
And you know what? The detail here, it doesn't stop with what you can see. Apparently underneath you got a surprise.
Yes, the underside of the truck is just as detailed as the upper side. The flames that you notice that run through the floorboard of the truck actually run on the bottom side of the cab in the exact same place as on the cab.
I got to let you in on a secret. This might come as a shock to you, but you do have a gray hair or two. And you know what? Trucks that look like this are usually in the hands of kids that are just out of high school. What do they say when you show up bringing it like this?
Oh, they love it. They love it. And a lot of times they don't know until they actually see us at a show like this that we actually have something like this. They're used to seeing me in one of our other capacities where we're head judge for several of the largest sport compact mini truck shows in the nation.
And of course, being a judge, this guy's definitely going to know what to look for. He definitely brought his A game here to Knoxville.
A 1951 strikingly beautiful Chevy 5-window pickup truck, unlike anything you've ever seen before. Check it out. Underneath the hood, look at all that custom metalwork with the detailed airbrush. Where in the world did you get the idea for that?
Well, it was my idea, and along with the boy that done major renovations and everything on the truck. I'd like to take credit for bending all the metal, but I can't. I can take credit for doing some of the stuff, but not the major metal work. I can't take credit for it.
Well,
I'd love to. I can take credit for paying for it.
Sure, well, that's very honorable of you. Now, what kind of motor do we have here?
It's a 350 Chevy tune port, just stock engine, not been built or anything. Just
I'm sure that's putting out a lot of horsepower.
Well, it does pretty good. 700 R4 transmission, overdrive and everything. 9-inch Ford rear end with a Mustang 2 front end with a power rack.
Now, am I correct? Is that a Firebird dash that you got in the interior?
That's correct. The instrument panel is a 1988 Firebird, an instrument panel that's been cut and molded to fit to the old contour of the old dash.
Talk about a brainstorm. Where'd you come up with that?
Well, everybody comes up with different ideas, and everything. So you just, a lot of times if you got pieces and everything, you just adapt them to the other things. The seats are out of a Firebird also.
Wow. And the ingenuity continues because it's a 51 5-window on the front half, but the back half is a 1995 Chevy?
1995 step side, full-size truck. The bed fit onto the stock frame and everything. Did not have to be cut down or anything width-wise or length-wise at all. It fit onto the stock frame. Of course, the molded steps and everything on it had to be taken off and filled in so that the old stock running boards and everything would tie into it and blend back. So it actually looked like it kind of came from the factory like that, but we know it didn't.
Well, the bed has just meshed beautifully with the cab. There's 44 years between the two, but they make a great couple. Almost sounds like Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore.
And this year for the Mother's Choice Award in the truck category, we're going to give it to Joe and Carol Keeney's 1971 Chevy Cheyenne 10 truck. Beautiful car. The engine bay is beautifully appointed with lots of chrome. The attention to detail is just dramatic. Also on the interior, you'll note that there's some great wood finish that matches the faux wood finish on the exterior of the car, the trim. Also, it ties in with the truck bed. A beautifully appointed truck, perfect choice award for Mother's Choice Award.
Want to see more great looking trucks? Stay with us. We've got more for you from Knoxville.